This is V, and I recently finished Blood and Bones by A.D. Starrling. So this story actually follows a couple different main characters, but the three most important ones in this book are, so Artemis Steele is the first one. He is an antique appraiser, like he also runs an antique store, but he primarily helps like do evaluations and stuff for different pieces for an auction house belonging to I guess one you can kind of consider his adoptive uncle. And his part in this story begins when he receives a really strange package on his doorstep. Like when he was 6 years old, he had a pet rabbit that got eaten by a hellhound. Like it was a day something like 20 years ago in this world's history when everything in the world kind of turned upside down and things like demons and all that stuff suddenly became very real. So like religion in this time period is a really popular thing because a lot of it is not as imaginary as some people once believed. But anyways, so the rabbit got eaten by a hellhound, but in the present day he receives like a cage on his doorstep that has the hellhound, but disguised for some reason as his pet rabbit. And as he's dealing with this, an unusual artifact is brought to his adoptive uncle's auction house. So I mentioned before that one of his main jobs is doing appraisals for these different artifacts. Like he has a special ability where he can just tell when something is real and fake and like its historical age and like a lot of different things about an object, but that includes things like if it's cursed or not, or if it has some kind of power in it. So this artifact that is brought to the auction house is very powerful, and not only that, it's a little unusual because its power, like when he senses it, is obviously good. So let's see. The person who brings the object to the auction house is main character number 2. Like her name is Callie. She's the recent widow of this really rich old man. Like a lot of people thought she might have been a bit of a gold digger or something, but her late husband made her promise him before he passed away that when he died, she would auction off like the antiques that he had in his basement, and he told her specifically to bring this I think it was a cane, like to bring it to this specific auction house like when he died. So well, honoring his wishes, like that is what she did. But she, like, while the artifact is there, like there's an attack by people who are not human, and she discovers that she herself may not in fact be quite as human as she originally thought, and also that there's definitely something weird going on in the world, and that when her late husband told her that an angel told him to do all this, he may not have been imagining things. So main character number 3 is one of the people who came to the auction house to steal the artifact. Like he is a thief, and like he had a contract for people who were searching for this particular object, and he doesn't really care why or whatever, only things go a bit wrong like during this heist, and he gets pulled into everything else that is going on. So let's see, something that I liked. This definitely has like a lot of characters, a lot of stuff happening, and a good amount of things like dialogue and humor. I admit the main reason I picked up the book was because of the bunny rabbit that was also a hellhound. Like it sounds very cute, and it's kind of funny with the contrast between it being this really cute fuzzy little animal, but growls at people, grows fangs, and eats raw meat and stuff like that. So yeah, that type of humor is fairly prevalent. But things I did not like. It kind of likes innuendo-based humor a lot, and there were some graphic scenes that I think were too embarrassing or whatever, and that I skipped over. near the end, it also likes to talk more about its bad guys than I care to read about, which creates sections that I do have to skip over to when I'm reading. And I think one thing was a little bit weird to me. Like, I noticed that the author seems really fond of certain, like, description words, and they'll use it, like, repeatedly and often to describe the same thing. Like, he really seems to like the word dully, and I'm not really sure it means what the writer thinks it means, because they like to use it to describe the way people talk, and what I think they actually mean is, like, to use a flat tone. But I feel like usually when you use dully to describe the way people talk, it includes a certain element of apathy or lack of interest, which I don't actually think is what they intend. Like, I think they intend it to be, when something weird happens and someone says something in a flat voice, and, it's their way of creating a certain type of humor. But yeah, like I said, I think the way they use some of the words that they use strike me as maybe not the kind of words that they originally intended.